welcome to Coding After Work. And we already have code in the chat room. I mean, Tyndall. Oh, so you were at work today. That is definitely fitting for Coding After Work. How was your trip? I mean, welcome. What? We have fun friends in the chat room.
Go ahead.
Hello. Only did bookkeeping, my gosh. That's not only important stuff. But that's not why we're here.
It's not?
No, I heard something about Blazor and
What's
coding.
Blazor? What's that?
It's the Angular killer. It's a joke. It's an inside joke. Jimmy accidentally... he has a question in one of his sessions where it says Blazor, the Angular killer, ? And the point was not that it is a Angular killer. It's like two different things depending on what flavor of coder you are.
And it's really... and as you mentioned, it's a question mark. It's not a statement. It's a very common question that I get. Or replace Angular with any other framework.
Yeah. So, but someone took a picture of him on stage, and that kind of blew up. Yeah. And, well, you were dragged. And not in a good way.
No. And apparently those who answered that question on Twitter in this case, they did not have a humor.
No?
No. They were like, the conference should never put a talk like that up. And
well, that wasn't even the talk. No, it was like 30 seconds of the talk. It's fun. Hey, look at that. We have an update about the trip Tyndall took. Home, Hanover, Luxembourg. I don't even know how to pronounce the other one. Paris, Lille, Dunkirk, Rotterdam. My gosh, you were everywhere. How did the car hold out? Great, I'm guessing. Barely? How was the charging networks? I've heard they're good in Europe in general. Oh, AC semi died. Okay, got it. Oh, you were 8 folks in a minibus. Okay, then, not the Polestar. There you go. Okay, you have my sympathies then. Otherwise, no.
And I actually read that the AC semi died.
Yeah.
I read that as AC as in power, not as in air conditioner.
Oh, you did? Oh.
So I'm like, what? What happened with it? Couldn't you charge the car? Okay, AC, got it. The old definition of AC, got it. Yes.
Well, we have an AC in our AC power.
That's true.
Well,
that's true.
It's usually mostly it's AC charging now, but mostly DC charging. Okay, that was a tangent.
So you're saying that
our car is doing AC/DC, yes.
Yes, but also your car, right?
Yeah.
It's your car. And your car has DC charging. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, sorry. Thank you for coming. Now it's over. Stream over. I've never... Okay, so from now on, we're only doing AC charging. I'm a Marvel fan.
No fast charging here.
No. Oh my gosh, you ruined fast charging.
To be fair, we don't have the yellow Batman belts, so...
Yeah, that's true. $7,000 for
worth every penny.
For yellow seatbelts. Okay.
You could even say it's penny worth.
Oh my gosh. That was funny. Don't forget to stop in Gränna in October. We're always stopping Gränna. It's my favorite place to stop. It's the best charger ever. No, we did not get the... we got everything else but the yellow seat belts and the nice yellow brake thingies. Otherwise, we got it all.
Okay, enough about cars.
Yeah, no, but we like the car.
Let's talk about Blazor.
Yeah, we can talk cars more later, Tyndall.
Could you jump over to my computer?
I can.
There we go. Look at that.
Yep.
So, we have a sponsor.
We do.
We do.
We do. An awesome one.
Definitely. And Progress Telerik has amazing Blazor UI controls. And they sponsor podcasts or streams like this.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that, I mean, we're not like spending a lot of money on things, but it does cost money to do things like this. So without them, this would not be possible.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you so much for sponsoring.
Over 100 native UI, Blazor UI components. They also have MAUI
kind
components.
Of everything else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And we're using Progress Telerik just a little bit in the things that we're doing right now. Maybe more later. I don't know, but we are using it for something.
Sorry, last car thing. Don't forget the air pressure caps things. Those are yellow too. They are yellow for 6 months. Then they are not. I've seen the forums. And also, we can paint them ourselves. We can get pink ones. I'm waiting for Telerik to show up as a sponsor on Svetug. I want to meet those friends again. Yay, they have amazing friends. And they have been sponsoring Svetug on and off. For sure.
So we're not in the sponsor group. I don't know if they have been contacted or not, but they do have another conference happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So
the whole team will be there.
Yeah,
that
might
will be
a little
hard.
bit tricky this time.
But there is a Svetug in February as well.
That's true.
In Stockholm.
Or at least we think so.
Yeah, that's a working theory. And speaking of conferences, our page is actually about conferences.
Yes.
Nice segue, huh?
Nice.
No?
Yeah. So last time, or actually the stream before last time.
Yeah, very important.
Might be.
A stream.
We did, we picked some low-hanging fruits. And apparently that is one of Jessica's pet peeves.
I hate that, that saying.
And last stream, we did a little bit more focus on the logged in experience. So the things that you can see when you're logged in. And I think we're going to continue with that today as well.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, you have done something with our Twitch, haven't you?
I have. Well, I started. Don't get your hopes up. I mean, you need to level your expectations.
Enhance your calm.
Yeah, enhance your calm for sure. But and also, I just downed 50 milligrams of caffeine right before the stream, so I'm sorry. But yes, I did. We put in 2 emotes just to try it out to see how it works. One of them is a subscriber emote, and one of them is the tier thingy. I don't know how it works. We needed to try the functions, right?
And you also, actually, I think we did that last stream, but you changed the redemption points.
Yeah. Yes. And that is actually, we were thinking, so should we call them bits or coins or codes or snippets, or we're trying to brainstorm. But then I remember we have fun in chat room. And a couple of streams ago, we had a whole thing about the moose wings. So we have moose wings. And for moose wings, that is curly brackets.
Yeah. And basically what it comes from is that in Swedish, those curly brackets,
whatever curlies,
they are called måsvingar, which is seagull wings.
Yeah.
So, but mås and moose is pretty close. So.
Look at that! Tyndall actually highlighted the moose wings. Nice. Yeah, moose wings. Yeah, the bits, of course, is a thing already, and that's what you get out of the box. But yeah, since we changed the emote or the image for the bits from the standard, actually when Tyndall was not on the stream because he was out driving in a hot car. Oh, it gets the Tyndall stamp of approval. That's worth like 1 internet point. Yeah, we're working on getting more internet points. It's a work in progress. We're getting there very slowly. But at least now I know how to upload them. And we have a couple of cats more and working on some other graphics as well.
So, last time,
yes,
we did a little bit more working with the logged in experience. So we added we made that look a little bit better. It was used to be called calendar. We changed that to call it settings instead and stuff like that. And we went off stream.
And Jimmy did things.
And Jimmy just couldn't leave things alone because
what happened was I'm sleeping. It's very late. It's like 1 a.m. or something. And I'm thinking, okay, so Jimmy went up to the bathroom. No issues. But then he's like, what the hell? Should I go up and see if he feels okay? It's been like 45, 60 minutes now. So I go up because I think he's sick.
And Jessica looks over on her phone. No new TikToks. Huh.
Yeah, exactly, and that's usually not a good sign either. He's in our office, like coding away. What are you doing? I had an idea.
I did.
Yeah, midnight coding for sure.
So let's log in. Let's see what I did. So
You mean about mid-coding daytime?
So I guess I actually should put get a screenshot of what it looked like before because we don't have that anymore.
Oh, there you
go.
But
this is what it looks like now. So logged in, we're gonna have my events up here. That was previously in a very odd color for some reason.
Yeah, contrast was really bad.
And if we click that one, we'll come into the events, my events page. It's just going to list them up from the top down.
And these are my events. Those are the events that I am interested in, speaking in, attending, whatever I've put in.
And you can see that up here that it's actually accepted. So these are the events that I will speak at.
Yeah, that you actually will speak at.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I click the settings, which is a new one, you'll see that we will come into...
we need to fix that button.
This one.
Button!
So it's basically... Now I'm doxing myself, I see here.
But there you go.
Never mind. So we got some settings. The calendar is where I can take this URL and I can put that into Outlook. And will get all of my upcoming events that way. And also, we can head over to Sessionize and get the Sessionize URL and get all of the events that is on Sessionize automatically synced over to NextTechEvent.
Yeah.
So like it's a little bit tricky because they don't have an API for this specifically. So we're using their calendar. So basically, let's say that you get declined. That is not going to update because if you get declined, it's going to be removed from the calendar.
Yeah, and which leads me to this question. Will that calendar auto-update, though?
Will that calendar auto-update? It will, because I did some other stuff.
Yeah, but it won't automatically do so unless you do the other things that you will show, I'm guessing. Per default, it won't update from Sessionize. Will it?
Well, not without the code that runs. But
Okay,
there is
never
code.
mind. did I tell you about the caffeine?
so what I did do was that I put in so there is a backend that is not open source because it has some API calls that is not open for the public. So that also has a Azure function that will run, I believe it's once a day, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we'll do it more often or less often, I don't know. But that it will update the calendar from Sessionize, once a day at this point.
Is it a 1, draw a circle, 2, draw the rest of the freaking owl kind of situation? or more like, here's a calendar, then we did some magic and now it works.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So basically what it does is, I actually think I might have that code in here still. Let's see here. So I think we have the API here somewhere. There it is. And let's take a look here. I believe get call for paper. No, maybe not. Did I actually remove it?
That is by default. Your conference status start with not set.
Yes.
And that is by default because we don't want to assume that a conference is of interest to you.
And it's also not set because let's say that...
Oh, the drop down. Okay. That can be changed. Change it.
What's bad with that?
Why should we have something that shouldn't even be an option in the drop down?
One might think that, but this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So in the drop down, let's say that we're going to focus on one of the things today. We're going to add functionality that we can say that basically, well, I want to automatically set all the conferences that are in Sweden or NDC or whatever it may be. It will automatically set them as interested. Now, let's say that you're not interested. Well, in that case, you can say not set. So that's why that functionality is there.
So Tyndall is on a poking mode.
Mm-hmm.
So he found another thing. If you're in the attendee mode and search for Svetag without, misspelled, it returns nothing.
Yeah.
But if you spell it correctly with 2 G's, it returns Gothenburg.
So this is basically, if I think let's
and that's a good find.
It is, but I think it's also by design. So Svetag, got that one. Don't have that one, and with a star I will get that.
Okay, so we need to get like old-timey web.
I mean, we could add that anyways, if you want to. But this is how the search engine works inside of Raven. What it basically does is that it takes every single word and indexes that into a whatever it may be. I don't know. Yeah. I think the default one is Lucene, and I believe that in the next update, which is coming like in a month or so, it is actually called, I think it's called Codex or something like that, really fancy. And that's, from my understanding, something that they built that is, I'm assuming again, more powerful than Lucene.
It's not obvious since 1999. But fancy.
I mean, we could add so that it searches. But to be fair, if we do, I think we're gonna get a lot of results that we don't want as well.
Yeah, for sure. That means there's no full texty index thingy with a search that allows misspelling and such.
I assume there are, but we need to opt in.
But let's, exactly, yet. Let's revisit that when we update to the new and fancy RavenDB, when it's released.
Are you assuming that we're just going to update?
We are going to update. That's just how it is.
Yep.
There's a higher number. We need it.
True.
I said I should stop poking. Poke away.
So, I thought that we would do two things today. Mm-hmm. We usually...
Poke fun of the page?
Yes.
Poke holes?
So 3 things.
Yeah. Tyndall is on that.
I thought that we were going to add a email address because I have an idea.
Yeah.
So in an upcoming feature, I would love to have users log in, add their email address, and opt in to get a newsletter. So basically, once a week, you will get an email saying, hey, you know what? You haven't submitted to these conferences that you're interested in. We have 3 new things coming and so on.
Yeah, that matches your profile or whatever.
Yeah.
It's still a work in progress. But speaking in general, a lot of speakers either submit last day or when it's too late.
Yeah.
Or just forget about it. So it would actually be a really good, especially for me. I'm the worst with things like that. Remembering to submit. If it's 3 weeks away, I will not submit. And then I forget about it. 5 weeks later, I'm like, shoot. So yeah. Getting an email saying, hey, get your stuff together because it's time would be very, very helpful. And Tyndall feels attacked. No. I'm speaking from my own experience. And also as a conference organizer.
we know when we're going to get submissions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You get submissions. We actually, yesterday, got 95% done with Svetug content picking speakers for that conference. You get a lot of submissions the first and second day, then it's nothing until the last day. And the last 5 hours, I think we got 7 speakers and like 13 sessions. So
and it goes up on the last day. And then we have a couple of people like, oh, we need a magic link. Can you get it? And then we have some more, right?
And the fact that speakers know what the magic link is shows me that I'm not alone in this.
I mean, what is the magic link?
The magic link is a VIP secret link that is open call for content, even if the call for papers is closed. Yeah, for sure. See? Tyndall was like 2 days early. There you go. You kicked off the last leg, so to speak.
Could we switch back to my computer?
We can.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't dox anyone. So
there you go.
So this is our Discord. So we have a Discord. It's available on. You can check it out on codingafterwork.com or
the about page.
The about page on Twitch. So here I have streaming with Blazor Live. So it's a bot where it's going to figure out that someone is streaming on Twitch about Blazor. And we also have like the project. So sometimes I post something about the Spectrum emulator or the book, perhaps. Look at that. We have the...
Boop. Oh, it's a 3D version.
Yeah. And also we got NextTechEvent. So what I also did, one of these night codings, I added a Discord bot basically. So it's going to send updates here as well. So you can find out the latest one. So if we take a look at this one, for example, let's click this one, and
we should have a channel in on Discord. Is it called a channel group thingy? I don't know what it's called.
Category, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So we should have one of those for. There's only 24 hours left on this conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
That type of reminder.
Mm-hmm. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
channel. Yes. Tyndall is on my my side here. Good.
That's absolutely possible.
Which probably shows how much I'm at our Discord. I should be better. I should do better. So this is a conference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what we also did was that we fixed the domain. So it was usually NextTechEvent.azurewebsites.net, but now it's actually NextTechEvent.com. And that was something that I was kind of reluctant to do because it's like crazy amount of work.
It's like 400 steps.
Yeah, so basically what we need to do is we need to run a little bit of an application. We need to get a key. We need to upload that to DigiCert, which is one of the providers of SSL certifications. And you need to download that one. You need to convert it in another application, the same, I don't even remember anymore. Put that into Azure, and it's like, ugh. But, you said but. But in Azure, there's something called managed certificate, I believe. Something like that. Managed app certificate, I think. So you just go into Azure, say, you know what, I want a certificate for this domain. You need to go to your domain provider or what's this called? Name servers, DNS servers, and add some magic stuff in there. But just doing that, it will automatically and for free get added to your account and also update whenever it needs to.
Yeah,
which was
the update thing is the most mind-blowing for me, because how many web pages out there are without the certificate for weeks on end because they did not know and they did not get a notification.
And there's also there are others free certificates. So DigiCert is normally not free. There is I'm totally blanking on the name right now. There is a free one. But the problem is that it's only valid for 3 months.
Let's see, DigiCert.
Just go for SSL instead.
Okay. Not CZL.
No, not
That's
CZL.
something else.
Oh, come on. Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt.
There you go.
So Let's Encrypt is free for all to use, but it's only valid for 3 months. So or is it 3 weeks? It should be 3 months. So every 3 months, I believe you need to go in, you need to create a new certificate and do that
whole process again.
And I mean, most of the people is
you can set it up to auto refresh. The free version?
You as long as you have
with an app service.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
okay.
basically, if you can run scripts and stuff like that, super powerful. But again, you need to do that.
Yeah.
You need to write that script basically, and.
But it's nice. I mean, we're very Microsoft heavy, so having that locally in Azure, that is very helpful.
It's not a free service, or actually the service is free, but it's not available on the free tier or the shared tier, I believe.
Right.
So you need to have one of the paid tiers.
Right.
but it doesn't add any additional cost as far as I can see. So and they're actually using
We
DigiCert.
will know when they bill us later.
And they're actually using DigiCert in the background, so you will get an actual DigiCert certificate that you can add. And
nice.
Just I was really happy.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, mostly because I don't have to renew it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go through all our sites and set that up because, well, having things set up and not have to think about it all the time is just nice. Fantastic. Because what also happens, so it's kind of like the conference speaker thing. So what happens is that you're going to get an email, and DigiCert or whatever you are using is going to say, hey, you know what? In 3 months or whatever time frame, your certificate is going to end. So you need to update that now. But if I do that now, I'm going to lose 3 months, right?
Yeah, then you need to do it like every...
Yes, I'm kind of trying to... I'm going to wait until the last
And then
day.
It went too far.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Never happened to me, though.
Liar.
Darn it.
Nobody believes you anyway.
But, so, super convenient, awesome. I was super surprised that
Done that, got
exists.
the t-shirt. Yeah, we all did. Well, I did never set a certificate up, but if I was to do that, I will definitely get that t-shirt as well.
So what have we learned? Azure App Certificates, something like that. Manage App Certificates, something like that. I should have remembered that. We also learned that we have a Discord where you can get some fun stuff. So, or see some fun stuff, perhaps. Okay. So, what are we doing? Well, we talked about adding some stuff to our settings. So let's do that.
App Service Manager Certificate.
Yeah. I was very happily surprised. Okay, so let's pop into our data object here, and we got one that is called settings, which is the one.
The settings page.
It's
or
not the settings page,
yep.
but the underlying data thingy.
The secret sauce.
Yes. So we want to add 2 things. Now I'm holding 4 fingers, but 2 things. We want to add an email. So string. That is absolutely not what I wanted to do. Email. And I think that do we want some kind of do we want to have a checkbox or do we want something that says I want emails? You want the weekly or is adding the email that thing?
No, it should be clear.
Right?
It could, well, it depends on how you do it. If it's some sort of input form to subscribe to our awesome email, put in your email here, and then the button we are using must be something else than continue. It needs to be clear.
All right. Yeah. I'm thinking that this is not going to be a specific functionality. It's just going to be one of a header on the settings page, basically.
A header on the settings page.
I mean, it's not going to be a completely different page to.
No, it doesn't have to be. But I mean, if it's an input box, like an input form input box, and there's clear instructions on that or text around it, and the button say something else than continue or something.
Well, the button, that's my point. The button is going to say save because we're saving the settings.
Okay, then I think we should be either very, very clear. No, we need to have like some sort of, we need to opt in then. If there's no button that says subscribe, then we need to be very close. Otherwise, we're very close to doing a dark UX pattern, I think. We don't want to piss someone off. At least I don't
Tyndall
want to.
says auto opt in with registering. That is not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you have to supply your email.
Oh my God! What is this? Did you read the rest? Then have an opt out with the button is on this in the same color as the background color, or maybe like one color point off. Stop it! That's a bad UX experience. I know you're trolling. I like your trolling. Also, it makes me go into rant mode. So.
And
also, never do that. That's dark patterns.
So we have an email and we have a newsletter.
Yeah.
And which is true or false.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Then we're gonna add a prop list with strings, I believe.
And we need a button as well, right? A save button? No, wait. Why should we have a save button? That should just save. Okay, carry on.
And this is, again, the data that we're going to save to the database.
Carry on.
So we want a list of all the search words that we want to automatically set as interested. So the question is, what do we want to call that?
What type of interest you have in it?
No, I'm thinking just a bunch of strings. So basically, sweet tug would be one string.
But can you repeat the whole thing then?
So we let's back up. So we want to automatically set conferences to interested. So the status interested.
Oh, okay. So the function that we are going to do.
Yes.
Probably in the middle of the night or on stream.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, got it. So that would be my keywords.
Yes.
That I'm interested in, and you want a word for that collection, yes. Like a.
So
okay.
It's kind of like conferences keywords that I'm interested in list.
Yeah. User keywords.
User keywords.
Topics.
Why are you saying user?
Because it's a user set keyword.
Okay.
It's different
but it's in the settings inside of and the settings is set to user. So basically keywords then. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I guess
Would
so.
that make sense?
Yeah, because a keyword can be more than just, it could be a name of a conference, but it can also be a subject.
It could.
Yeah.
We don't have that right now.
No, but I mean,
yes.
Then we're not.
And it would also be possible to say like Stockholm, Sweden.
Yeah, exactly.
Europe.
And I think keywords is it's a broader term, so it's easier to use. Oh my gosh, that is too soon, Tyndall. Should everyone update their Twitter properties to X now? Too soon.
Well, apparently, as far as I understand, Elon Musk does not have the patents for the
branding.
For the branding of X. He has the domain, but it doesn't have the branding. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, he has the money, so.
Yeah, apparently both.
Yeah, from what Tyndall is understanding, there's a ton of lawsuits coming in. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Yeah, exactly. Meta has the trademark for X in regards to social media, and Microsoft has X as in Xbox when it comes to chats and stuff like that. Yeah, and gaming related.
And there's also, so apparently Japan has their own version of Twitter, like own servers and stuff like that, and that is called Twitter Japan, I think. So X Japan is apparently some kind of music group or a company or something like that. So he has something stopping him there as well.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Triple X and Sander Cage. Should they swap name to Twitter and Twander Cage now? Oh, apparently there's a photographer and he's doing events and stuff like that has the @X on Twitter. But allegedly, I mean, I've just read about it. I'm not sure how true that are, but it's they were kicked out of that without compensation, without anything. They were offered, in hindsight, like after the fact, they were offered a tour on the Twitter headquarters and some merch. So that's interesting. Oh, yeah, and their logo is based on a font owned by Monotype. Actually, Monotype has gone out and said it's very similar, but it's not ours. We are not doing anything of this. There's also speculations that the logo is from, what do you call it? I told you this the other day. Not ASCII, the other thing.
Oh,
which is not royalty or trademarked or anything. Unicode, thank you. Yeah, there's talk about that as well. But yeah, someone didn't do their homework because they're too rich, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. But I did get in on Blue Sky, so I need to actually go in there. Oh, are you going to get angry again? Yeah.
How does it know?
Yeah, because it's an awesome AI.
I mean, it's not 100% because we don't want to input text box there. But, I mean, still gonna... Oh, that's absolutely not what I wanted.
I remember this. Yes. Maybe it's done with 4 particular lines where 2 are crossing each other and they're all black, but one is done in transparent ink and another in green ink, but all of them needs to be black. Yeah, for sure. That's a skit you can probably find on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok and whatever. And Tilda suggests that it knows Blazm.
It did.
I mean, technically, you have the Blazm code on GitHub, so why shouldn't it know?
But it's not auto-completing my code.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it's called the Expert. Thank you, Tyndall. That's the one. That was hilarious.
Tab to accept. Tab. Now it works.
There you go. It's because you called it out.
So we want the keyword. We want all the keywords in the keyword setting. And I also did like equals new, so we don't have to think about what happens if it's null or doesn't exist. It's always going to exist. So that's a little bit easier to handle.
That's nice.
So, and we don't want that. We want it to just write out the keyword, and we're gonna just put a break afterwards, like so. And we're probably gonna have a delete button or something like that as well. So let's say that we want to. Let's see if we can. Get some help. That's not how you do it.
What do we want to do?
I don't know if this actually works. Let's see. Add a keyword to the add a keyword. No. If I just write it like this, add a keyword. Ah, there we go.
Copilot is great until it stops being awesome. When I was coding, it came up with a suggestion for how to create instance of my repositories to a unit of work instance. Worked great. Then I asked Copilot Chat about creating a bunch of them, and it lost all context about my code and just suggested some code from a generic unit of code, unit of work pattern. Yeah. Well, it's a work in progress. It's a fairly new technique, I would say, to be built in the tools. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, we still need to be wary of what we are using it for and checking the sanity of the code. Copilot is great, and the chat is getting there. Yeah. But Copilot always gets Jimmy worked up. Yeah. If it's a very specific thing he wants to do, and it knows, he kind of get on a tangent. So it's saving time, but it takes like 10, 15 minutes for him to rant about how did they know?
It's not helping me right now.
Yeah, apparently Tyndall also goes, "This is magic!" quite often.
Yeah. So, oh, did it work? No. Task. I don't want to save. I want to add keyword. There we go. Look at that. So basically, what it's going to do is going to add the keyword to the keywords collection and then set it to nothing. So we also need to add one of those here, a string, and it should be called keyword. There we go.
Oh, apparently on the last Svetug in Gothenburg, there was a person showing off coding with Commons and Copilot. He just typed, do this, then do this, and press tab.
Mm.
Nice. Me too. I was sick, so I need to watch the recording, I guess.
Okay, keywords to add. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Sweden. Boom.
Yeah, we need to style this a little bit.
Why?
Don't troll! You were sad. I was sad. All my friends were downstairs and I was laying in bed like a sicko.
Like a sicko?
Yeah. And Tyndall says, why? So I'm guessing he's on your side. Like, why do we need to style?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the same type of mentality when it comes to styling, I think. It works.
Pop in here as well.
Yes, I did see the awesome shirt you made up for missing your deadline for. I forgot to renew my SSL event. Got the T-shirt.
Would you like to receive weekly newsletter with upcoming conferences? If so, please enter your email below.
How did it know?
It's annoying, isn't it?
I get that it knows the code because it's browsing and parsing through millions of lines of code. Mm? But how do it know? How does it?
Welcome to my world.
that's not okay. Tyndall said it had the h2. It had the @bind value variable name. Then sprinkle some magic, a unicorn, and have it be looked over by a cat for a bit, and you got this. Actually, that could be our kitty corn. Because it's a cat who wants to be a unicorn.
Okay,
And it's the one I put in the emotes thingy. But we also have it on the about page. Kitty corn.
Okay, so that looks like not as nice.
As I would say.
So we need to put a friendly neighborhood break here. You should never do this. You should probably style it, and I think that will be a later project as well.
Yeah, we do have some rework to do. So there's no kitty corner emote on Twitch. No, I think it's like a redeemable, and it's still in. It might still be in pending approval from.
There should be a ZX Spectrum though.
Yes, there should be as a subscriber thingy. So you should see that one. Tyndall are disappointed. There is. There you go. So you feel a little bit better now when you got a ZX Spectrum.
Okay, so basically we have a newsletter. We have keywords.
Yeah.
We can add those.
We have ugly buttons.
Ugly buttons.
Yeah, and bad hierarchy amongst the keywords.
Bad hierarchy.
When you added a keyword, it's right in the instruction. See? There's no way. It looks like the same. Nope.
So what do you want me to do?
We need to have more spacing between the instruction for the input box and the result.
Don't do this.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing?
What?
Are you putting in multiple breaks? This is how we did it back in like the 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to fix that on a later stream. We should bring someone in who's a CSS guru, and well, they will nope out of our code.
It's not that bad.
Well, it depends on who you ask.
It's not that bad.
It depends on who you ask.
Okay, so we have a little bit of space here. Let's see. Boom.
Wait, what? We have lurkers? What? And leaving Tyndall all alone in chat room?
Apparently I broke something.
Oh no.
What did I break? Can't even reload the page. What's up with that? Did I break something for real?
With the brakes? Sorry, too much caffeine.
Ivan Drago reference, right?
Yes.
There we go. So let's add Sweden.
Did you also have too much caffeine? Because he can't STFU. Is there such a thing as too much caffeine? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. For sure. At least for me.
So we have Sweden. I would like to add NDC perhaps because I like their conferences. So.
And maybe Blazor.
Sure. We don't have that kind of functionality yet, but why not?
Yep. Then you have it. Yay! Thank you for following.
So there we go.
Is now following.
Nice.
So, do you want to see what I've been working on?
Yes, I do. Because I was asleep when you did it.
Yeah. So I've been working on a Visual Studio extension called Blazm Extension.
I know it well.
And
you put some new cool stuff in it?
I have, or at least I'm working on it, so it's not released just yet.
We get a preview.
Oh, this is definitely a preview. So let's pop in here. I'm just going to show you the... Look at that. It's over 900 installs.
Oh, thank you, Tyndall. Tyndall is a fan.
So maybe you'll like this new feature then.
Oh, yeah. He has no filters, so he's a good test person.
So let's say that I have a couple of different components. So in this case, I have overlapping conferences because I'm going to use that one because it's a little bit more advanced, or it's actually not that advanced, but where did you go? There we go. So I can right click and generate bUnit test to clipboard. So now I can say as Razor syntax. I'm going to click that one. I'm going to pop down to our Razor syntax. So bUnit is a test framework specifically made for Blazor. And it has two different ways of making tests. Either you can do it in a Razor file, or you can do it in C# code. So in this case, I'm using XUnit. So I've set up a test collection. We're doing some stuff in setting up databases and stuff like that. So I can just paste the code here. And what it's doing is that it's figuring out that, so this component is using the NextTechEvent API. So I can uncomment that one and add an implementation for the NextTechEvent API. So to make this work, I would do something like this, just NextTechEvent API. And I think I need to add a namespace as well. There we go. So this will create an instance of NextTechEvent and create the API. Apparently I'm doing something wrong. There shouldn't be an end tag there. So like that. And then it's getting all the parameters that the component has. So it's going to pick out all the properties with the parameter
brackets?
Attribute.
There you go.
And just say, it's going to get the default value. So the only thing you need to do is to just add those values. And then if we're using the Razor syntax, you will render a render fragment like this. So it's overlapping conferences, the start date and the end date. So this is all the code, or this is the setup for testing this particular component. Then we can do act, which is basically clicking something or navigating or whatever it may be.
Try to log in, stuff like that.
Exactly. And at the last, you would assert and figure out, okay, is this working or not? So we can take, actually I have made a C# version of this. Same thing here, that like we're getting the start values, the end values. We're arranging everything. So you can see here it's using the parameters.add instead of the just adding it to the component. So this is basically what if I would choose as C# code instead would do. This is not generated, but basically the same thing. And then we can wait for state. So we're waiting for the component to render a conference item, just one. Because the thing is that when we're testing with bUnit, it's going to test with bUnit, it's going to render, the first render is going to be empty, and then the test is going to say, hey, didn't find any. So you need to kind of say, you know what, wait just a little bit to see if there's coming something else. So in this case, we're like saying that, you know what, wait, try to find a component, wait for 5 seconds. If it's not there after 5 seconds, then you can just say the test failed. And then we're going to assert and check that we do have these components. We can just grab these 2 lines and move them over here. So the weighting is typically a range. We're arranging everything, and then we are acting. In this case, we don't need to act because we're not clicking anything.
But I think we have to assert comments?
Yes, because I copied everything over. So let's do that and that. So we don't need to do anything with the act. I'm just going to add the namespace here as well. At least I thought we were. No? No namespace for you. We actually do have the namespace. Okay, let's build it. So sometimes the editor is, well, confused, yeah. In this case, apparently, perhaps not.
No, there's something else.
Conference item. Actually, this might be inside of the pages namespace because reasons. Pages. No,
that's
pages.
Not how you spell pages.
In Swedish, it could be. Okay, let's see here. Stop. Spelled it. There we go. So if we go to our test explorer, we will see that we have some tests. We have some component tests. We got overlapping eraser test. That's the one we just did. We can run it. Now, I haven't tested this, so maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Ah, didn't work.
Well, it did work because we got a fail. No?
Well, sure. Could not find matching runtime. For the test? Have I updated this? No? This isn't doing... Okay, apparently...
Exactly, the testing worked. That's what we're... oh, wait, maybe not.
Apparently I need to update...
Same.
Apparently I need to update the runtime because the test framework has dependency on 7.08. And apparently I don't have that on this machine. But it should work. It should work.
So this will make testing in Blazor so much easier.
I think so.
Yeah.
So also we can take a look at... Let's take a look at the settings page. Let's see if we can do that.
And I happen to know that Egil, the person behind bUnit, actually approves.
Yes.
A lot.
He liked it. He liked it. So let's take a look at the settings page. So if I get this one, actually let's take a look at it first. If this is a good test, no, it's not. Okay, we don't have a good one. So what it will do is that if we're injecting a authentication. Oh, I should know this. Authentication state provider. Then it will also add the necessary code to get that working inside of this component.
Nice.
Or in the test. And
but
also,
this is not out yet.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not. I think I would need to...
Oh, we have Tyndall being triggered by navigation with the underscore API.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So what do you prefer? Underscore or not?
Well, if he got triggered by underscore.
No, just saying that navigation, they're different, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, so he did a Jimmy.
Yeah, so which one?
Yeah. So this is something that I'm very surprised that Jimmy actually did. Because when I name folders on the computer, on our streaming computer, sometimes I don't use a capital letter to start with, and he gets berserk. He gets triggered. He said navigation is for in-scope variables. So he would say underscore navigation. Because that fits more with CTOR injection and private read-only my type underscore my instance.
Actually...
Oh, don't!
I'm not gonna... but...
You can't say things like actually.
We don't
need it. Well, he wants opinions!
No, we don't need it. There we go.
Oh, we didn't even need it?
No. Solved it.
That's one way of solving it.
So down here we see that we have the cascading parameter, which is not implemented in the test framework or the test function just yet. But this is a task of authentication state. So this is typically, this was what I was actually looking for. But so this would add a what is called add authentication test or something like that. It will add all of those methods that we need to be able to test authentication inside of bUnit automatically when it gets to that point, which is kind of cool, I think.
Tyndall keeps nitpicking random things today. Well, that's why we like you.
Well, this is good because we're getting better code, right? I mean, these kind of things are important to...
Thank you for the follow. Yeah, it is important. And I mean, there's not one thing that is 100% correct at all times.
Well,
I mean...
Well, I am, but...
Well, no. You're married, you're not.
You have extensive research saying that that is not true.
Exactly. I have researched this for 21 years. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and then there's the tab versus spaces. Well, so, yeah.
I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent with the tab versus spaces thing.
Is it the rant mode?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. So, I thought I was tabs.
Oh, right.
I've always been like, of course we're gonna have tabs. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's easy and...
Yeah, but apparently the default behavior of Visual Studio, let's see if I can find the settings here. So I think it's a text editor. See it.
While you are looking, Napalm is here.
Hey.
Better late than never again, I suppose. How is Jess and Jimmy today? We're doing good. How are you doing?
So look at this. This is the default behavior. I haven't changed this. Is it the default? Default. This is the default. So basically what it's doing is that when I press tab, it's going to insert 4 spaces.
Tyndall is needing to sit down, I think.
I was like, what? It's doing what now? I had no idea. You need to lift in that comment.
Oh my gosh, let's see if I can find it. Yes, I could. Holy poop bucket. That's a new swear word.
That's how I felt. I was so surprised. Like, nobody uses spaces. What's up with that? I even said like a fun thing at a presentation I had, like, so who are using tabs, and basically everyone was hands up, and then I was like, so who is using spaces, and there was one guy in the back like, yeah, I'm doing, well, get the heck out of here or something like that, just for fun, right? And apparently I've been doing it. And as you can see, I haven't changed it either. But I was so surprised.
I'm doing research. Because I forgot about how this is, because I know there's an accessibility point in this as well.
So Jeff Fritz, which is an awesome streamer, you should definitely check him out if you don't. He referenced that in a couple of episodes back.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And he talked about tabs and spaces. And he was like, it's going to be tabs. Tabs is awesome. But I wasn't entirely sure about this. So I wasn't like, I'm going to comment this and make a fool out of myself. So I kept quiet. But he actually did link to that article that you're
that I'm reading?
have on
yeah,
there.
okay. So I can just put that in chat room as well. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, so...
You're disappointed in yourself? Why? Tab versus spaces? Yeah, it's a touchy subject. But Jeff is lovely.
All right, so we added some settings.
Oh, struggling to decide if we're getting near a hard decision for my pop. Oh my gosh, that is so harsh. We know how it feels. It is tough times indeed. Yeah. Where do you draw the line? When is it all about the humans and not about the animal? It is so difficult. I'm so sorry.
It does, as you say, it's a tough decision.
Yeah.
From my experience, it's a tough decision, but it was so far it's been a very it's time. It's like for us it was never a question of when. Yeah. It was just I just told Jessica, could you call the vet, and she knew exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
So it was very obvious for us, which I'm kind of thankful for.
Yeah, for sure. But then again, Sputnik was 18 years old, so it wasn't a surprise that it was nearing the end either, because when you get sick at that age, it's usually not a good things. But it's it is brutal for sure. Yeah, it was a cat. Sputnik and Tussin, I think, was 18 and a half, almost 19, or if it was the other way around. Both of them surpassed
Tussin
18.
Was older.
Okay, so then he was 19 and Sputnik 18, a couple of years apart. Sputnik is actually the one on our cat stickers and our cat graphics on Twitch. If you look at the about the headers with the cats, that is actually based off of Sputnik. Yeah. Because we all love cats. You know how it is. Tyndall has his own cat as an emote, so he knows what it's about. Yeah, they're definitely family members.
Yeah.
We actually had a cat visitor.
Yeah.
For a week or so when our neighbor went away. Very nice little cat.
We have a camera outside on our porch.
Yeah, like a Ring camera.
Yeah. Like a Ring.
It's a Ring. We have 2 Ring cameras on our porch to detect cats.
And we used to have it on person mode, so basically it's only going to say, oh, there's a person on the porch.
Yeah.
But I actually disable that because sometimes Silver, which is the name of the cat, comes into our on our porch. So it's kind of like there's movement on the porch, and
Jimmy is out the door with the emergency treats. Yeah, we have a drawer in our foyer, and top drawer you can find like the emergency kitten, cat. We actually have dog treats as well, but most of it's cat treats,
so we have
just in case.
An emergency kitten.
Kit, yes.
Kitten.
Detects cat and maybe a random raccoon. Yeah, it's not that common with the raccoons in Sweden though, so that sucks a little. There. And my chat went completely berserk and
why isn't
disappeared.
That?
I was going to lift in that, but okay. There we go.
Isn't the
Thank you for the follow.
Viv is now
isn't
following.
the Bootstrap BTN no wait
no it's danger.
Danger.
Yeah,
Danger. I remember.
Don't start me on the naming convention of Bootstrap or actually Bootstrap.
But danger seems correct, right? There we go. There we go. Much better.
No.
And the migraine says...
Yeah. I have migraine meds, though. I'm prepared. Because I knew there will be Bootstrap.
Maybe we should just have like...
Perfect! Chip it! Stop saying that to him!
Look at that. We can remove stuff and add...
Ugh. Yeah, well, the functionality is fine. Like you're going on a JavaScript conference.
I wonder if this works. JavaScript.
Oh, you can put in... No. I know what you're doing.
Let's see.
You can search for...
There we go.
Oh,
add.
come
Look
on.
at that.
That is not okay.
Is it not okay that I think it is?
It's okay that you think
Aha.
so. But other people might
This is my
actually
profile.
enjoy... Yeah, that's true. Then why isn't there a raccoon? And Racer?
I can ask what now?
A Blazor coon?
Oh, I forgot how to do it. There we go. Let me see here. I think there should be a...
Having worked with Bootstrap for years and years, my brain is having problem with any other framework naming convention. Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. I mean, you get used to what you know, and then everything else becomes difficult. That's why I have issues with Bootstrap. That, and because on our last blog engine, I was going to change one color. I kid you not, one color in one place, and there was 22,000 rows of CSS and crap I didn't use, and it was super hard for me to find it because the naming convention made no sense to me because I'm more a CSS directly, so I can actually Google what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, I get it for sure.
But I would be interested in what you think about Tailwind.
Yeah, maybe I should look into that.
Because basically, what you're describing as something bad with Bootstrap,
I know,
is the thing that I like with Bootstrap and I hate with Tailwind.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'm a Tailwind fan.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, but I definitely get that because it's easy to get started. It's kind of like WordPress for web pages, right? You can just go and everything is there.
Yeah.
It's just the nonsense naming I do not like.
The dangers. Why isn't what would be a better name?
A better name would actually be use it for like you have. Why have you renamed it in your components at work then?
Yeah, but I haven't renamed it. I've added an extra layer.
Yeah, exactly.
But what would be a better name for the framework?
Well, it depends. Well, red.
But it might not be red.
Well,
that
it is by default.
Yeah, by default. Yeah. But
then do your own CSS.
but it's actually describing not the color, but what it actually is, something dangerous.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. Oh, you're trying to learn Tailwind. Yeah, for sure that's a new experience. It seems like there's a divide there. You're either or like me, none of it.
for me, Tailwind is like styles, but we're using the class tag instead. So we know that it's bad to use the style tag. That's something we learned over the years. But we're not doing that. We're using the class, but we're still putting all of that stuff in there. I actually have a blog post on Blazor and Tailwind because I didn't like. So there's a bunch of things that really get me into rant mode, I guess. But
rant mode.
Rant mode.
Okay.
No, wait. Do we have sound this time?
I think we do.
Yeah.
So basically, there are a couple of things that kind of makes me annoyed because first of all, Tailwind doesn't have anything by default. So that's a bad thing for me because it's awesome if you want to add things like all of your own styles. And Bootstrap comes with styles already prepared, but that's a good thing. I get help. I get the things.
That could be a good thing.
It could be a good thing, but for me, it's a good thing. I've
seen you doing CSS.
Let's assume that everything I say from now on is from my point of view. And then there's also like could we turn this off? It's like crazy. And then there's the second thing is that it's by default, or the recommended route is to use npm or mpx, I think it's called. I'm using Blazor. I don't want to have that installed. I don't want to have Node installed on my computer, preferably. And also, there is like we're having all of these class tags inside of Blazor, and there's a lot of them. And if you're using it that way, so the creator of Tailwind did it with Angular or React or whatever he was using, and it was made for components. You should think in components, and if you're thinking in components in Blazor, it makes sense to also have isolated CSS. Again, in my opinion. So what I did in my blog post was that I created a way to download the CLI automatically inside of Visual Studio. So we have this code that you have to add to the CS project file. So basically what it's going to do is going to get the version that we specify up here, download it, and get it runnable. And then we also have so when you're using isolated CSS, you will be able to use isolated CSS, and Tailwind is going to take over and make its magic. And that's the good thing with Tailwind, is that it's not going to ship anything that you don't use. Yeah. And that's kind of like the thing that you don't like with Bootstrap.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to go through the page, it's going to find all of the things that it's actually using and ship that. And that is what these lines of code does. So it's going to check, it's going to, basically what it's doing is that when we're saving the isolated CSS, it's going to inject itself or whatever and kick on Tailwind and make that work.
Yeah.
As you can hear, I'm not a fan of Tailwind. I haven't tested this like 100%. I've tested it and it seems to work. So I would be happy to hear what you think about it. If
you're not running Tailwind. It in production.
I'm not running it in production, and I'm not using Tailwind because for me, it's
not your flavor.
It's not my flavor, and all of the things that I've learned about CSS over the years, it's working against that from my perspective. And I know, and I would love, we actually talk about having Chris Sainty on the show.
Yeah, because he's into Tailwind.
He loves it. And I would love to have this discussion and see his point of view, because I would love to be wrong about this. Because everyone is like, oh, it's crazy good. And
no, not everyone. 50% of people are.
I saw a tweet when it was like...
no, you saw an X.
I saw an X. Saw an excrement. Which had... What are you using? What CSS framework are you using? And people were like, Tailwind. And I can't get... I don't know. It must be something that I'm missing.
I don't know. Tyndall did a thing a bit back. He designed something with Bootstrap because, well, he likes design as much as you do. Then I looked at what CSS it was using and rebuilt the page with only what I needed, because learning, yeah, that's a good way of using it. I approve of that. BEM CSS grid flexbox, all you need. There you go. Tailwind is fun in the way that you usually know exactly what the component classes do based on the name of the class. Yeah, I think that's my issue. I wonder if I would like Tailwind better than just using CSS. But I'm a little bit I need to know everything. And I'm a little bit of a control freak. My feeling about Tailwind is basically, well, there you go. Are you speaking Swedish? That's like an IKEA name. I think he's saying divs in IKEA speak.
But if you look at this, my blog post, so with Bootstrap, if you want a primary button, you would do it like this.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Sure.
But the idea with doing the exact same thing, but with Bootstrap, with Tailwind, you would need to add all of these things.
Yeah.
This makes them look kind of similar. And I mean, as mentioned, like BG blue 500. Well, we understand that it's the background, it's blue, and it's
the weight is 500.
Yeah.
Or the color theme.
Yeah, and hover. Well, it's going to change to that. And text is going to be white.
Now I see that I will probably not like Tailwind either, because both are doing that arbitrary 100 to 1,000 with the colors. And I prefer... See, I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I rather know exactly the color than go through that. Well... Yeah, I think so. All of that might as well go to pure CSS.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And what you can do with this solution is that you can add all of those into isolated CSS and basically say, well, button should have all of these styles.
There is another aspect to this as well. If you are not a developer, but you are you sit on a CRM or whatever, you're a webmaster or whatever they call it nowadays, this is handleable. This you can handle. The arbitrary 500, you don't have to know about what color it is. You know you have a background blue. You don't have to mess with that stuff. So it's a little bit, you could see it as a little bit of a more user-friendly way of doing it. But if you know how to do CSS and all of that, for me, it's the other way around. This is definitely not user-friendly for me because I don't like the naming.
In the 500 and 600, those, I think, mean something. I mean, it's percent of something.
But it does.
PY would be padding Y.
Yeah,
and
padding
2
X.
is very arbitrary. It's not 2 pixels, it's 2. And it's the same thing with Bootstrap, to be honest. It has the same thing. And I think that the Bootstrap has something similar. I don't
but
remember.
I like my M's and Rems.
MT would be margin top, for example. So that I think this.
And then, that's...
I guess that this would probably be. So I'm guessing that PY is actually on the y-axis, top and bottom. I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah, might be, but that's also that's also making it a little bit more difficult to know exactly how it will look. And I feel like I won't have as much control as I have if I set it myself. Yeah. What about style guidelines? In my experience, if you let people loose, they will combine red, blue, and yellow in 5 different sizes, and half of them underlined and bold on a single page that has 2 shades of greens and as the only approved colors. Don't get me going on style guides. We spend a better part of a day in my UX class talking about how to handle guidelines, style guides, whether that being your own. They actually get to do their own style guides, but very condensed, and how to handle other people's and style guides, and how a lot of style guides are not made for the web. For sure. Yeah, well, you know that.
Yep.
Oftentimes in certain areas, like business areas, let's say non-technical, they might have, like a bank, for instance, just putting it out there, or an educational center, or what have you. They are doing their style guides. They are hiring a bureau of designers that are doing this fancy schmancy thing that looks great on paper, that has no contrast, no accessibility, cannot work together on the web. Because they are thinking two-dimensional. They are thinking in paper, and they are not doing this for the web. Even if they are doing a web bureau, even they mess this up so fundamentally sometimes that they should get their money back, if you ask me. This is such a pet peeve for me. A company that I'm working with has exactly that. They have a super fancy gradient. They have just rebranded. They have super fancy gradient, and their text color is like bright turquoise on yellow or pink, soft yellow and pink, and it does not read from, I don't know, 2 centimeters.
Yeah. You don't need to be visually impaired to have a problem reading that.
Exactly. So, yeah. Usually, I would suggest that they if you run into that, maybe suggest that they have a style guide for the web and a style guide for whatever else they are working on, like PowerPoints, and printables and stuff like that. Works very differently than the web.
And also, I mean, even though you can add like fonts and stuff like that in on the web, sometimes you need to think about, well, it's another type of medium. Should you have serifs or sans serifs? Should you use the built-in fonts, or should we add our own and stuff like that? So those kinds of things you need to think about as well. And what kind of data are you showing? Are you showing data? Well, in that case, you would probably be better off using sans serif. And if you're writing a lot of text, you might be better off using serifs. I'm not saying that you are, but...
No, if we're generalizing.
Yeah.
Or if it's aimed towards kids, sans serif.
And if it's aimed at me, sans serif.
Is it a question if we have that monitor? Or did I miss something in my rant about making the internet a better place?
I do not have that kind of hertz, at least.
No, that seems a very high...
I think my monitor in my office space does... It's kind of wide, but...
kind of wide? It's super wide. It's like 3 screens wide.
Yeah, it's more like 2.5.
Yeah, sure.
So that one is, but it does not have the. It's not that kind of gaming screen thingy.
No. Don't need that for Visual Studio, do you?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You just bought it. No. Next screen is mine. Oh damn it! I got the last one, but it was a tiny one.
Was it?
Yeah, it's the one I got when I quit my last job. Those are like...
And you bought those last?
Yeah. So bigger number is better, right? Yeah, I would say so. That's why we're switching our RavenDB out later when their new version comes out.
So I thought that I wanted 3 screens. And I've been using 3 screens for many, many years. But then my workplace was like, well, you're working from home, you should have a good screen. So we got a very wide, so you can connect...
Kind of curved.
Yeah, kind of curved. Just not a lot of curve, but
a little
bit. Just enough, I would say. So you can connect 2 HDMIs in there, so you can get 2 screens just from connecting two sources. So I can run my Mac and my PC, for example, at the same time. Or you can have like one screen all over. And that is such an awesome experience. So I'm using Power Toys, which is made by Microsoft. A friend of ours, actually, Clint Rutkus, is working on that.
Right.
And using it for 3 screens. So I have a big one in the middle where I have Visual Studio and stuff like that, and I have 2 smaller ones on the sides where I can have like, well, the web browser or Twitter or whatever it may be. Then I have one more on the side, so an extra screen.
Extra screen,
yeah,
not
totally
like a window.
One.
Yeah,
and then one up here as well, so I can.
You can watch a movie while you work.
Usually what I do is like I have Twitch on up here, listening to people talking while I'm working, and sometimes I even have like I'm watching an episode or something like that. Always stuff I've already seen.
Yeah, so you don't have to concentrate.
Yeah, and I've noticed that I've become super productive doing that. Because sometimes it's like, oh, this scene, this is cool. And I get a little bit of micro break. And then I get back to it. And it makes me super productive to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if I could actually use one widescreen like you have. I am very accustomed to having 2 or 3 screens.
But I didn't think I would either.
No, but you wanted that. I still don't like yours. I mean, like moving around and docks in the wrong window and
No, that never happens because
it does. I've seen it every time you move around things.
Actually, that it does.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 features. So Windows 11 has that kind of feature as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of is annoying.
Yeah. That's
but the
what I'm saying.
built-in power the Power Toys is actually pretty good.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so we've done some features.
We did. We ranted on what type of CSS framework, if any.
We have a way to add newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
We have keywords. We need to style it, get it better.
Well,
but the
I know baby
functionality
steps.
is here right now.
I know. I'm learning baby steps. This is, if nothing else, this page is a test of my
patience.
patience, my perfectionism, and actually finishing stuff.
But I think that what we're going to do off stream is we're going to add a functionality that is going to add the conferences based on the keywords. We are going to add newsletter. We're probably not going to do that in a couple of weeks because it takes time to get a newsletter out. But we got the main functionality, and I think that once we fix this UI, we are for now feature complete. I don't think we're missing anything.
No, but we still need to do a lot of work on checking the accessibility, do some testing and stuff like that.
So I mean, this is definitely not the last episode.
No, but like the MVP, the minimal viable. But why would you be upset? Those buttons looks perfectly terrible. Yeah, exactly. Geosit is modern motive. But we do have another question. How are you planning on sending the newsletter? Like manual recipients with API calls or removing them from a list at a newsletter provider? Good question.
It is.
Thank you for the follow.
I've done some research, and the plan was to use some kind of newsletter service. But then I got the idea that what if they're personalized? What if we can say that, you know what, you have these conferences as your interest? Heck, it could say, did you know that there's another conference in Sweden that you might want to check out? We can make it more personal and add value that way. So I thought that, you know what, we're not going to do one newsletter. We are going to do personalized emails.
So you don't have to go to conference, get information about JavaScript conferences, and I don't have to see the Tailwind and Bootstrap conferences, if there's something.
So I did a little bit of research. I checked some email providers that we could send emails with, and since we have everything in Azure, my colleague Daniel, he was like, so Azure has a communication service or whatever it's called.
I'm
like, what? It has what?
Icicle Japan is now
so
following.
Apparently they have a way to send emails. It also has built-in functionality with adding these emails bounced or they
how
have
many opened it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it has all
very
of that.
valuable things if you're on the marketing team.
Yes,
for sure. And usually you have to pay for that.
Yeah, so that's built in, and the cost for this. So there are two ways they
can charge you.
Can charge me, yeah. So one
by credit card.
Credit card and debit card. No, it can charge by how many emails we send, and also by megabyte. So for each megabyte that we send. So if we're counting, like each email is going to be 1 megabyte.
Because it's easy to count.
It's easy to count. It's definitely not going to be 1 megabyte.
No.
So let's count that as 1 megabyte and then plus the cost of sending an email. It would cost 4 kronor, so Swedish kronors, for 1,000 emails.
So it's like basically $50?
$50 for 1,000 emails or something like in that vicinity. Yeah. And I mean, again, it's not reasonable to think that it's going to be 1 megabyte. So that cost is going to be cheaper. It's going to be cheaper.
Yeah, most probably. But yeah, that's good. We have done some stuff. We still have some stuff to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I don't think I'm going to push this today.
Oh.
I'm going to commit it, but I'm not going to push it because I think we should fix this before we do that.
I appreciate that.
So let's do that. Added some settings. Just going to commit it. There we go.
Yay, committed. And then I think we only have one thing left to do.
Hmm?
And that is finding someone to to raid.
Yeah.
Actually, our friend Code Rushed is online. Such a subtle burn there. I would appreciate that. I think you know me now. Subtle burn.
Code Rushed is Mark Miller.
Yeah.
And fun fact about Mark Miller, not only he's been a guest on the podcast, but he also worked on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theater masks, I believe. So the
Did I know that?
Yeah, we've talked about it on the podcast.
How did I forget that?
Yeah, so he worked on. I believe it was the theater.
That's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I know.
He made a turtle?
He made a turtle.
A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Or Hero Turtle.
Yeah.
Double trouble stream with Code Rush. And yes, let's start the raid and see you next time. Thank you so much for this time.
Bye.
Bye.